One of us.
Great showing. You guys suck and you cheated.
Oh, we're recording? I didn't know we were recording.
It is the biggest transfer or free agent signing in the history of the United States in any sport. What is up, everybody? Welcome back for another episode of Ride the Pine, presented by the Benchwarmers Podcast Network. I am Sean Sproat. Joining me, Cameron May, Kenny Hudden, Adam Freeman. Boys, how's it going?
Better than
Michigan didn't win.
We're going to talk about Michigan and Washington. We're also going to really dive deep into NFL because we made some season picks and we did not do well, or at least I did not do well. We'll get into that, of course. We do have a whole playoff preview too, but since you mentioned it, Kenny, let's talk the NCAA championship game. Michigan wins another title. They beat Washington. It kind of looked like Washington beat themselves. What do you think?
Well, let's put it into a frame of reference because Blue Bloods love to act like they're all relevant. This is Michigan's first title since 91?
91 or 93, something like that.
Right.
Yeah, I was going to say it's one of those two numbers.
Washington.
So let's not act like, this was a big it's a big deal for the university, but I do believe Washington beat themselves.
Well, give credit where credit is due. Michigan has the most all-time wins, right, in college football history. So not a championship since 1991, but they have the wins. But I agree. I thought Washington beat themselves. I did not catch a lot of the game. Whenever I turned it on, the first thing I saw was a Washington wide receiver dropping a wide open pass that hit him pretty much square in the eyes. So my assumption is that is just indicative of the entire night.
Pretty much.
A lot of bad officiating too. Apparently they couldn't call a hold on anyone but number 73 for Washington. Thank you all for interacting with that tweet. That is at PodRideThePine on Twitter. Everyone go follow that while you're at it. Washington didn't look good. And, they gave up 303 rushing yards, which I'm not a stat guy per se, but that's not good.
Hot take.
Well, and a lot of that too, though, a lot of that came in really the first quarter, and then it came in garbage time afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
They had more rushing yards than Washington had total yards.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying that you're not wrong by it, but I do think for the basically second quarter to the third quarter, Washington had Michigan stopped. That was where Washington should have pulled away. And honestly, that's where I thought they were going into halftime, being a close game. I thought for sure they were going to come out and then be like, all right, cool. This is where Washington just, comes from behind, pulls away and runs away with that 4.5 point spread that we were hoping for. But they didn't. And there were so many drop passes. They couldn't run the ball to save their life. Penix looked terrible. He didn't, not only was he hurt, there's no doubt about that, even especially at the end of the game, but even the beginning of the game, he had throws that he hit all year long, nowhere close. He had Odunze wide open on that corner route and just missed him. And I partially think that he made the wrong turn to go get that football. But either way, you still miss a wide open wide receiver. It was not a normal game for Washington, at least normal as of this year. Congrats to Michigan for winning the national title, but they didn't truly win other than on the scoreboard, in my opinion. That game probably should have been a Washington win, in my opinion.
I'm hesitant to agree with that because I'll say this. I still think Georgia is probably the best team in the country.
100%.
And it's extremely unfair that we didn't get to see that matchup of arguably the two best teams. Washington was – I talked of Washington a lot this year. We were wrong with our picks, so that's okay because Michael Penix shit down both of his legs. I was talking to somebody today who was like, oh, he lost draft stock. I'm like, well, he's going to be a mid-round, first-round pick anyway. It just depends on whether he goes to, say, the Giants at – what are they at, 17, 18?
9. No, I think they're 9.
Do they have 2 first-round picks then?
I don't know, but they're 9 somewhere there.
Okay, I'm going to have to look that up real quick. Or, does he go to, the Saints right there, the 20th pick, right? So I think he's going there regardless. So yeah, I mean, Blake Corum though, I mean, hell of a performance. I don't know if that kid's a senior or he's going to declare, but I think it's time for the next level for him.
Yeah, it hurt me to get that pick wrong, both on the podcast and in my wallet. That really, really stunk. But I got to say, I wasn't predicting for the Michigan Wolverines to run like stallions all over them. All right, screw you guys. That was a good joke.
It took me a minute. So speaking of that, I did notice something at the beginning. Usually that's me like 10 minutes later.
For real.
I did.
To be fair, I was looking up the draft order.
Okay. There were a whole bunch of plays that I noticed that Michigan's defense, as soon as Washington would go in motion, everybody on the defense was doing a hand signal, and then they would stop the play. I noticed that a ton of different times. Now, at this point, I don't really give a shit. It is what it is. Like, every team and every sport cheats in one way or another. It is what it is. Let's just freaking get over it and figure out how to move forward. But, yeah, I mean...
But does the fact that they won this title, I mean, does it kind of wash everything that happened 3 months ago?
No, it doesn't, because they're still going to face sanctions in 2 years, and Harbaugh's not going to be there. He's going to be in the NFL next year, so it doesn't matter. And all those kids that are going to be scholarship restricted and everything that gets restricted in 2026 are going to get punished for it, when the team in 2024 should have been the team that gets punished.
Right. I still feel like it's a massive part of the conversation, and I know they're not the pinnacle of sports broadcasting anymore. But the day after the game, I was watching SportsCenter in the morning, and it was just everything is just Michigan's great, Harbaugh is great, we love the Wolverines, congratulations. No single mention of the controversy whatsoever. It just feels like this is just perfect for them to kind of sweep it under the rug. And we can all kind of move on because the collective attention span of the average sports fan is 5 minutes long. Well, it's a little convenient for me. That's all I'm saying.
To be fair to ESPN and
To be fair.
Yes. To be fair, they are in a negotiation with the NCAA for the contract rights of the new 12 team playoff, which means they are not going to rock the boat.
I see.
Yeah.
But were any other broadcasters doing that? Was Fox doing that? Was Barstool doing that? Any other ones I can't think of off the top of my head?
Well, probably not Barstool, to be fair, because Portnoy is a Michigan alumni.
Mm-hmm.
All those guys are all Big Ten guys, so you're not going to see a lot out of them. What I've noticed was a lot out of the SEC fan bases. That SEC podcast, so SEC Mike and Cousin Shane been talking about it. Other than a couple things where it's like, oh, cheaters always win in Houston.
That was a good one.
Which was a veiled shot at the Astros.
That was a good
That's
one.
good. Yeah. Any stray shot at the Astros is appreciated.
It's always
absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've kind of changed my opinion on this here recently, because there was somebody, it was an anonymous SEC coach that was, I forget the reporter he was talking to, but it was like, dude, we all cheat. He goes, the quote was something like, unless you're Vanderbilt running a squeaky clean program.
I saw that today.
Everybody is cheating, and nobody gives a shit about Vanderbilt. And it was like, whoa, first of all, that's savage to do to a team in your own conference. Just like throw them under the bus like that and back them on up. And then like just blatantly, hey, yeah, we all cheat. I mean, I think it's a great conversation that the NCAA needs to do the inner helmet microphones.
Hold on, I've just found the tweet, and we have to read it.
Yes,
Brett McMurphy with
beautiful.
the tweet. Look, an Alabama official told me at the Rose Bowl last week, everyone, and I mean everyone, is stealing signs. Michigan is not the only school doing this. Added an industry source. Kansas basketball cheats more than anyone, and they didn't do anything to Kansas. The only pure thing in college athletics is Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt sucks. That's where college athletics is in 2024. If you're not cheating, you're not trying, or you're Vanderbilt.
Doesn't it the fact that Michigan got caught doing it though, doesn't it make you respect them just even a little bit less if everyone else is doing it? Because it does for
Oh,
me.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay. At least we're on the
mean-
same page for that.
It just
Like when
means
you-
you're the dumbest of them. That's it.
Yeah.
I mean, what did you put in the Venmo transaction? Ohio State signs. Oh, that's what I should have sent my brother-in-law today when I paid him for the Washington bet. I should have.
That would've been-
Washington Huskies football signals.
yeah.
Oh.
I mean, it
I'll say-
tarnishes it. That's for sure. It doesn't make it look great.
Yeah. I mean, college football fans have been able to move past Joe Paterno. They're going to get over Michigan. I mean, obviously it's not to the extreme of what Paterno allowed at Penn State, but we've basically forgotten about it.
But we can't forget about Reggie Bush. What the hell?
Dude, oh man, everybody's pointing out like Caleb Williams is in Dr. Pepper commercials in a penthouse in LA making $4 million a year, and Reggie Bush still ain't on the Heisman house.
Yeah, that's
I mean,
true.
even as a whole, USC's national championship got pulled away
Yeah.
for something that's less than what really is going on now, or even what Michigan did.
And look,
No, it's
I'll
less
say
than
this.
what Kansas did.
Yeah. The biggest disappointment of yesterday's game is that somebody started a rumor that NCAA 2024
Oh
was
my
going to have a
God.
commercial, and there was no
did
commercial.
not. So disappointing. So disappointing. I stayed up for that. Literally, that was it. Like, we got to what it was 20, or I guess it would have been 28 or whatever. They were at 27. And I'm like, this game's over. But I
Michigan-
haven't seen the commercial yet. I want to see the commercial.
Michigan
That
intercepted. Michigan intercepted that ball, and I said, "Commercial be damned! I'm turning on the Big Bang."
That's the other thing we should be talking about is the fact that it's 2024 and a major national championship game is being played on a Monday night.
Oh my God, that's such
Like,
a horrible
what
idea.
are we doing? Come on.
Let's wait for the Final Four, because the Final Four is played on Saturday night, and then the championship game's on Sunday as well, or on Monday. Always, which is the dumbest thing ever.
But basketball is 2 hours,
Right.
give or
I don't
take.
care.
Yeah, but it's still 2 hours. At least they
Not
started
for a
it at
national
6.
championship game, though.
At
National
least-
championship games are 3 hours.
The pomp and circumstance is 3 hours. As soon as that final buzzer runs, unless it's Dennis Gates cutting down that net, I don't give a shit after that final buzzer. Or like,
That's
yeah,
true.
good game. I mean, yes, it's disappointing. I wish they would either play it on Sunday and say, "Hey, NFL, up your poop shoot," or say we're taking over the Saturday like we always do. Like
Yeah.
Saturday is college football time. But at least they started it at 6:30. Like, I didn't feel
It
terrible.
still ended at like 10:15.
Dude, I'm up until like midnight every night anyway. So
Well, the
Hold
NFL
on.
is looking at it like there's a block open now on Saturday for this weekend. Let's throw some games on there and get some viewerships. And we're watching the Baltimore Ravens play with all of their starters sitting on the bench. Why can't NCAA just have a championship game during that? You don't compete with NFL with that. NFL competes with you.
Hold on, guys. Just want to let you know, this only gets worse, right? Have you guys seen the schedule for next year with the playoff?
No, I
because
haven't.
what, New Year's Day is going to be on a Wednesday?
Hold
Oh,
on.
that's
So
true.
it's gonna,
Christmas
so
and
it's
New
going
Year's.
to skip
yeah.
that Monday and then go to the next Monday?
It's bad. So, courtesy of Ross Dellinger on Twitter, first round games, the very first round game is December 20th, which is a Friday.
But how will those
and then
kids
there's-
take their finals?
I don't know. And then there's 3 games. There's 3 games on the 21st. So that is the first round games. The quarterfinals are on December 31st, which is a Tuesday. And then New Year's Day, they have one game on the 31st on New Year's Eve, and they have 3 games on New Year's Day. So the Fiesta is on the 31st. Peach, Rose, and Sugar are all on New Year's Day. Semifinals, January 9th. With the Orange Bowl, which is a Thursday. The Cotton Bowl on January 10th. It's the Friday. And then the championship. Anybody want to take a guess on the championship?
It's got to be like the 31st now, right?
It's the 20th, which is a Monday.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
That is like, I get it. They're going up against NFL playoff schedule, and they have to work around those stadiums because that's where all of these games are played in. So they have to kind of work within those parameters.
It's going to be in
I
Houston or
mean-
Dallas, though. Typically, neither of those teams are going to be dancing around that time. So
True. Same with maybe Philly, but it's usually cold there, so they won't put a game in Philly.
that was rude. All right.
But I mean, that's horrible. They have to start this sooner. The freaking conference championship games are on the weekend after Thanksgiving. So the very next weekend, let's start the playoff games. Like, you don't have to give them 2 weeks. You don't have to give 2 weeks for a freaking national title game. Like, let's keep going. Don't put the games on Thursday and Friday and put them on Saturdays.
Don't kill the
No,
momentum.
absolutely. Now, I will say this. Has anybody seen – so I was on Twitter before we jumped on here. Barrett Sally was talking about top 4 have to be conference champions. Are you guys seeing this? Or like,
Yeah.
And they're just going to be 2 G5 teams?
No, there's one G5.
Oh, awful.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be allowed.
The way I've heard
I'm
it
saying that
is-
right now. I'm going to make it very public. The G5 teams do not need to be in our 12-team playoff. It is a joke.
Yeah.
No, 11 to 13 ranked team should lose a spot to a Liberty that had how many losses and
I
was
thought you were
ranked.
going to go how many people at January 6th?
That's what I thought. Yeah. The over-under on January 6th jokes on this podcast. It's got to be an interesting line.
Probably.
Okay,
I mean, Kenny, you're not
he's
wrong.
like a Tulane.
Yeah. You're not wrong. I don't disagree with it. I get why they do it, but I think in the end, the only reason they're doing it is because they're still technically part of FCS football. That's the only reason. They're not the next level down, and I think that's it. it's stupid, but that's the only reason it's there. They're giving them the opportunity to earn it.
Well, I mean, I would also argue that the Pac-12, the champion, doesn't necessarily deserve to be whatever they're going to be because
There
I think
is
the
no
Pac-12
Pac-12.
Well,
Right.
aren't they trying to stay? Like, isn't
I don't know.
Washington
How?
State and Oregon State trying to lure teams away and like doing like a Pac-6?
That's
I don't
gonna
know.
go well.
You take the Mountain West
No.
and you take the Pac-12 name, like you have a
I mean, it wouldn't
okay
be bad.
football
That's true.
conference.
Yeah, you would have a decent one. It'd probably be better than what the Pac-12 was.
I mean, what the
It would be more
Pac-12 should have
competitive.
initially done anyway was add Boise State and Hawaii, and you would have been a monster conference, and you wouldn't have lost the 4 teams you lost.
They should have done that in like 2007.
The problem is unlike like the SEC, is they have academic standards, and I guess Boise and Hawaii are a little bit lower than what the Pac-12 was. But like at a certain point, you have smart commissioners who are supposed to be business people. They should have been forward thinking. I would have added those 2 teams in a heartbeat, especially in like 07 when they were relevant.
Yeah, it should have been one of the first. Boise should have been one of the first teams the Pac-12 added. Probably not Colorado. That didn't do anything for that conference.
Yeah. All right.
So-
Any final notes before we kind of move on? Anything?
I was going to say one last thing that kind of ties the 2 segments here together.
Mhm.
Does Harbaugh leave Michigan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he's gone. It would shock me, honestly, if he came back, but there are too many opportunities for him to take in the NFL that franchises would 100% give him the control that he wants.
He's the future Carolina Panthers head coach.
I was going to say
I don't think so.
Chargers.
I was going to say Chicago.
Give me Panthers.
All right, Kenny, what's yours? We all have different ones.
I like the Chargers, but the Panthers, I mean, he could.
Can I tell you why? See, here's why. Everybody thinks the Panther gig is like shit because Tepper's an asshole, and he is. You are going to sign a contract for like 4 years, 5 years, get paid, and then do 12 months to 18 months of that contract, and then get paid. That's the greatest job in sports. Carolina all day.
I don't think it does, though. I mean, Carolina is probably the worst option of teams available right now.
I
No,
disagree.
I disagree. I actually think the Chargers are you could argue that the Chargers are worse. Not
I
only
think the Chargers are going to clean house.
not
The Panthers
only
don't
are
have
they
a
in
first-round draft
cap
pick. You guys
hell,
realize that, right?
They don't. Correct. That's my point. He will get paid $80 million to $100 million, whatever the contract is, to sign for Carolina. 4-year deal, 5-year deal. They have no first-round picks. They will be awful. Tepper changes head coaches that quicker than he changes his toupees. He will fire him, and he will pay out the rest of his contract. Then he can go to Chicago. Then he can go to LA. That is the Carolina job is the most enticing job for a head coach in the NFL, probably in sports, because of that reason. It's you're renting a gig for 12 to 18 months. Cool.
Yeah, I guess if you're not looking to win, I can see it that way.
Winning's
yeah, but I feel like Harbaugh is going to go to the NFL to win. Like you don't make this. You don't make this jump without either being fully committed to what a team is going to do and build or want to win, right? Like I could see him going to New England before I see him going to Carolina.
Ooh.
And that's to say New England still hasn't even parted ways with Bill Belichick yet. I still think the Chargers are the worst job. You're going to get rid of Austin Eckler. You're going to have to do something with Justin Herbert's contract. You don't have a receiver to replace Keenan Allen. Josh Palmer, Mike Williams, they both can't stay healthy. Quentin, is it Jackson or Johnson? Was a terrible first-round draft pick.
Can't catch the ball.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the defensive line is good, and everything else is shit. And, again, they're going to clear cap. Like, they've got to get out of the cap trouble. And you're talking about a team that's potentially moving. So
You're in a market where you're second fiddle. No one gives a shit about the Chargers.
they're not second fiddle, Sean. They're like seventh fiddle. Like because
Well, in regards to NFL, but yes, I see your point.
Well, yeah.
As far as the sports pyramid in LA, yeah.
I mean, I think if I'm him, I'm going to Chicago. I played in Chicago. My quarterback is the mirror image of a quarterback that I went to the Super Bowl with. You have the number. Justin Fields would be Justin Fields would be better than Colin Kaepernick.
I'm saying, is he going to be the Chicago quarterback? Because today he put up on Twitter and Instagram basically saying a goodbye to Chicago fans.
Oh yeah, I think if
they can
Harbaugh
get
goes,
Harbaugh,
he's trading for
stands.
Herbert. No, he's trading for Herbert.
He is the exact same quarterback as Colin Kaepernick, and he's better. I think, and you have the number one pick that you can trade back, and you could still get a quarterback in the draft. You have a decent defense, and all you have to do is rebuild an offense. If I'm him, that's where I go, and that is the team that would pay him out the ass to go there too.
I think you guys completely just underestimate the amount of money that Tepper has and how much he doesn't give a shit about spending it. So
yeah, he has a ton, no doubt about that.
Yeah.
I think the only thing you'd have to consider if you're Harbaugh with Chicago is if you come in and the plan is to trade Justin Fields or let him walk. Are any of the quarterbacks who are going to be first-round quarterbacks, Williams, Penix, the white kid from UNC,
Derek May.
Yeah, whatever. He's Mitch Trubisky 2.0. Are they going to be good enough to play and keep my job secure for 2 to 3 years? I don't think there's a quarterback in this draft class that is day one ready.
No, there's not.
So what do? You go to Chicago and trade for Justin Herbert.
All right, let's stop talking about the losers in the NFL and let's talk about the winners.
Let's talk about the losers here.
So the playoffs start this week. In the NFC, the matchups are as follows. The Cowboys finished with the 2 seed, so Green Bay is going to Dallas being the 7 seed. The Lions finished as the 3 seed, and the Rams finished as 6. So that game is on Sunday in Detroit. I think that's going to be a very interesting matchup. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers finished with, and Sean, you're going to have to help me with this team that finished in the 5th seed. Phil, which one is this?
Still dancing, baby. Fly, Eagles, fly.
Okay. It's the Eagles, and they may have a quarterback whose middle finger points behind him. So I don't think that's going to work out very well.
Throw, right?
So let's start with the NFC with these matchups. Anything surprise you guys or intrigue you guys with these matchups?
Not intriguing, but Philadelphia's fall from grace has been incredible to watch.
I'm sure we're going to do picks later, but if you would have asked me a month ago, it would have been a very different pick than what I'm going to say later. So that it's been atrocious for a month, really a month and a half. So the fact that they're in the 5 spot and have to go to Tampa Bay after starting 10-1, that's the most surprising thing.
Yeah, I mean, the Eagles' fall is definitely the most surprising. I mean, there are 2 great matchups, though. I mean, the Jared Goff Bowl and the Mike McCarthy Bowl, both being in the NFC, should both be really fun games. I can't believe the Eagles are 3-point favorites on the road against the Buccaneers, though.
They got shaky bakey.
It's Baker, touchdown maker. Come on, don't disrespect him.
He might be higher. Go ahead.
So I'll say, just real quick, shout out to Detroit, man, winning their first division title in 30 years.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna get to it. That a lot of us picked that, but shout out to Detroit, man. That's cool to see them in there.
They're also a blown call away from being the 2 seed.
Yeah,
I mean, honestly, they probably been the 1 seed. If you really think about it, they probably would have got all the way up there with it. But I mean, I think that to me, that is the most intriguing matchup because you have a team that hasn't been in the playoffs in a long time, obviously winning their first division title in 30 years. And you have Stafford going back to Detroit. The Lions have reportedly banned Stafford Lions jerseys from being in the stadium, so that'll be interesting to see how they pull that off. Yeah,
Childish.
that's lame as fuck. But the Rams are a team that kind of I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but in reality kind of did. They don't really have the star power because, one, they don't have any draft picks to be able to draft a star. But they have Puka Nakua. Had to make sure I slowed down on that one. And then Matt Stafford. I mean, you still have Aaron Donald, I guess. But I think really they're the surprising team in that.
Little Cooper Kupp?
Yeah, Cooper Kupp's overrated.
Okay. You're gonna have to expand on that.
I don't like him. He's not that great.
Also, do you know who Kyron Williams is?
Yeah, he went to Notre Dame. I know who he is.
Okay.
I don't think that they're a team that I would have said in the beginning. Clearly, because I had them at no hate. I had them finishing 3rd in the division.
Yeah, none of us had them doing well.
right.
They were the team that out of all of these playoff teams that I would say, no, there's no way in hell this team is making there. And actually, I take that back. All of these playoff teams, I did pick. No, I didn't pick the Cowboys. So,
looking at the playoff bracket, the Bills are in, the Browns are in, the Dolphins are in, the Lions are in. It's like 1991. Like, this is the weirdest year.
All right, so Sean, you said it. Let's do it. We're going to do it off the top, just no thinking through it. We're going to pick these 3 games, and then we're going to pick the 3 AFC games.
Straight up or
Cowboys?
against the spread?
No, straight up. We're not doing that. That's
straight up.
Time for that.
Yeah.
Cowboys or Packers at Cowboys. Who you guys got?
Cowboys.
We them boys.
Packers.
Yeah.
I'm going Cowboys too.
Let me tell you something. A stat I just heard before we jumped on here. The Packers have won 4 consecutive road games in Dallas. They've won 9 out of their last 10 in Dallas. Pack.
I like that.
Solid number game, Kenny. So we'll stick with you. Rams at Lions.
Rams.
Sean?
Lions get their first playoff win in 32 years.
Cam?
I'm saying the Lions just because I want them to win. I don't think they're going to win, but Lions.
I am Lions as well. And then the third game, Eagles at Buccaneers. I am going Buccaneers. Cameron?
Buccaneers.
I can
Kenny?
see the heat radiating off of Sean's head. Just call me Jason Kelsey, Eagles.
All right, on to the AFC games. Sean, do I need to ask?
I'm actually going Buccaneers. I've lost faith.
Whoa.
I have watched really bad football for the last 35 days.
It's been painful.
It seems like that locker room is gone.
Is Big Dom their play caller? Because I think that's what happened.
We all know the phrase, and it's one that I pretty much live by nowadays. It's the hope that kills you. So I've lost hope. Buccaneers.
Look, I will say this: Nick Sirianni, since he talked shit to the Kansas City fans, it has been downhill. It is one thing to talk shit to your opponents, do the Arthur Smith and get real pissed off and do all that bullshit. But when you yell at fans, karma comes at you.
I'm not going to grant Kansas City fans the honor of them saying that they derailed the Philadelphia Eagles season. That's not happening.
Oh,
No.
it's not even Kansas City fans. It's probably more like Cowboy fans who are, giving Eagles
even
shit.
Worse, I'm not giving them that credit. No.
Shout out to friend of the show, Charlie.
All right, let's go to the AFC. Finishing at the second seed, Ravens got the first seed and get the bye. Shocking to me, Buffalo Bills, they finished number 2, and the Steelers snuck into the playoffs. They were one of those teams that last week I said, listen to this, and guess what? It happened. So the Steelers snuck in. Number 3, the Chiefs finished at the 3rd seed, and the Dolphins fell to the 6th seed. And then, to me, one of the, I think, probably cooler stories, as well as I think it was probably one of the best games of the weekend. Houston finishes the 4th seed, winning the NFC or AFC South, and they will face the Browns, who had a decent season in the NFC North or AFC North. God damn, that AFC NFC always gets me. What are you guys' thoughts on the AFC?
You want to start Steelers Bills or?
Just whatever. Yeah, sure. Steelers Bills.
I really want to pick Steelers, but I'll go Bills.
The Steelers seem to have some sort of a deal with the devil and just somehow find themselves in these situations all the time. Don't they have a negative point differential and are somehow?
I'm pretty sure
Still making
Which
it
is
in?
exactly why I want to pick them, but you just can't.
I'm taking the Bills. A quick note on that, though. Bills are 10-point favorites, and the over-under is only 36.5. So this might be a game that just gets turned off real quick.
Is this a projected sno game?
How.
Yes, it is supposed to be terrible.
That's why.
Oh, snow game. I'm back in. I thought it was just supposed to be cold there.
I watch snow globe football all day long.
Speaking of deal with the devil, Mid Allen, I'm taking him and the Bills. Yeah.
You really don't like him. I don't.
He
Is this
doesn't.
like a January 6th tie-in, or?
Is it because he has 2 first names?
That's pushing it, Cam. Well, I mean, that doesn't help his cause, Sean, but I just don't think he's that good of a quarterback, and he is a selfish fantasy quarterback, and I hate it.
So how come I say I don't think Cooper Kupp is that great of a wide receiver? And everyone's like, oh my God, what the hell is that? And then freaking Josh Allen, Kenny, out of nowhere, he's a horrible quarterback.
Because we've known about Kenny's hatred for Josh Allen for weeks. Your hatred for Cooper Kupp is brand new.
I don't like Cooper Kupp. I'm going Buffalo as well. I just saw that the Steelers are without TJ Watt, so that negative point differential is probably just going to get bigger. And Buffalo at home, Bills Mafia, crappy weather. I think Buffalo wins this game.
Yeah.
Kansas City hosting Miami.
It's going to be so cold in Kansas City.
It's going to be ball freezing cold.
Supposed to be one of the
It's going to be
coldest
like
games in
negative 4
NFL
at
history.
kickoff.
0 with wind 20 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Sorry to everyone who's going to that. I'm even more sorry to everyone who's going to that because I'm taking Miami.
No.
Chiefs are a 3.5-point favorite. I'm also taking Miami.
Okay. Kenny?
Tua looked like he was concussed again. I'm taking the Chiefs.
It's going to be cold. Chiefs receivers already can't catch the ball.
Tua's from Hawaii. He's never played in a game this cold.
I'm just saying the Chiefs wide receivers can't catch, and their gloves are going to stiffen up to make
They're
it
going to
even
run
worse.
the ball.
This is
Which they don't
Tyreek
ever
Hill
do.
returning back to Kansas City. That's the storyline here. I think he has a big game.
One of the coolest things to me in sports is the mental aspect of what teams do to away teams. I think it's Iowa that their football locker room on the away side is painted pink just to get into the away team's heads. Miami, I think, might top the cake out of anybody. Their stadium is set so that the sun is only on the away sideline. they only wear white jerseys at home so that the away team has to wear dark colored jerseys, and most of their games are day games, and it is hot as fuck in Miami, and it's cool on the Miami sideline. Like, even to the point that the Patriots have to bring down their own cooling systems to keep the team cool on the sideline during games. With that being said, it is going to be cold as fuck, and it's the complete opposite in Kansas City. Kansas City is going to win this game because Miami's just going to look like the Jamaican bobsled team out there when they walk out of the airport. Let's go
Kenny,
to
did you make your pick? Did Kenny say Chiefs?
Yeah, he did. He said Chiefs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. One quick note. Fun fact. This is completely true about the Dolphins stadium. In the away locker room is the pool, the tank from Ace Ventura. It's just right in the middle of the room.
That's fantastic.
Fun fact.
Wait, seriously?
No.
That would be awesome if it was, though.
Like, that'd be actually
That's
pretty
it.
cool.
It's coming
You're a
down to
flipper.
whichever team is wearing short sleeves more. I don't want anyone on my fantasy team or on a team I'm rooting for to be wearing long sleeves ever.
No, definitely not. All right, and the last game, which is technically the first game in the AFC, Houston at Cleveland at Houston. Houston's the AFC South champion, and then the Browns got in by way of somehow. I have no idea. Who you guys got in this game? I'll go first. I got Houston. I think C.J. Stroud keeps it going.
I mean, I think it's a fun quarterback matchup. I mean, with C.J. Stroud being the rookie who kind of came out of nowhere and Joe Flacco being 58. So,
That's on
I
the
mean,
low
that's
side.
going to be fun to watch. I think the Browns are going to win this game, though, and that mostly has to do with their defense. I mean, the number one ranked defense in the NFL, I think that they're going to kind of suffocate them.
Kenny?
We're going to try to free the homie and CJ Stroud's dad, and we're going to pick the Texans. No, we're not too, by the way. Have you seen what he did?
Have you
Yikes.
seen those charges?
Whoa. This game has the most chaos potential for me. I'm going to go overtime win by the Browns.
Ooh, all right. The Factory of Sadness gets 2 picks. I'm shocked. All right, cool. Well, that is the NFL playoffs. Anything else you guys want to add on that? Okay, so since we picked the playoffs, and we all know how well we are at picking games, way back when, approximately 18 and a half weeks ago, we picked all of the NFL divisions in order. I'm no mathematician, but we could have maxed out with 32 correct picks, right? 4 teams, 4 divisions. Okay, just making sure. Just check.
Don't
check.
strain
math
yourself.
live on the
Be
app.
careful.
Yeah. Does anybody want to take a guess at what our high score was?
12.
14.
17.
Oh, we had 2 close guesses. Our high score was 13.
Ooh.
And the lucky person that got 13 was Cameron and Kenny. You guys tied with 13 correct picks.
And you were talking shit, too.
Damn it.
You were talking so much shit.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
You're like,
can
I
you
did
just
better
tell
than
me?
you did at the picks.
Can you just tell
we
me if
knew
I'm
that
in
we were
last
1 and
place?
2.
I just need to know if I'm in last place.
Most likely, Sean.
Yeah, okay.
With 11 picks correct, me.
Yes! I think.
With also 11 picks
Oh,
correct.
shit.
Couple points of interest. The East, AFC and NFC, was by far our best divisions to pick. The worst division was the South. So of the South, we had a total of 7 correct picks. That was our lowest. The West, between the AFC and the NFC, we had 9. So it wasn't a great showing. We did fantastic with the NFC North. We all picked the division winner in that one with Detroit. That was the only one that we all picked the division winner in. And the NFC South and the AFC South, we didn't pick a division winner. Or, for that matter, we didn't pick second place for either of those.
So I had 3 hot takes during that episode, that preview. I said Belichick would not last the season. That was wrong. I said the Chargers would win the AFC West. That was wrong. And I also said a few weeks later that the Ravens would lose the division and would drop off. Rough year for your hero here.
Let's add in the fourth one. You said that about the Cowboys too.
I say that every year, so that's expected.
I agree with you.
So how do we resolve this? Because we need a winner. Here's what I propose. We factor in our picks for the playoffs. Let's make weekly picks up to the Super Bowl. You can only gain points on the teams that you picked to make the playoffs. And it's 2 or 3 points per.
None of us picked teams that made
we
the
didn't pick
playoffs.
wild
Sean, I don't
cards.
know if you understood
Yeah,
that.
So the way I said that, and the reason is so that it doesn't just wash away what we did, but we can just start from scratch and go from 13 to 11 points and just go with it.
Well, I still have our original AFC and NFC championship picks along with who our Super Bowl winners are. And I still have our MVP. So in theory, there's another 4 or 5, there's another 6 points that could be earned based upon that.
Okay, so we can just keep the same picks. Well, I mean, I'm assuming next week we are going to make picks for the next round as well, but
We'll
keep
track
our
the
original
playoffs separately.
picks. Okay.
Yeah, we'll track
Okay.
playoffs separately. By the way, is Joe Burrow in contention for the MVP? Okay, I'll mark that wrong on mine.
His backup girlfriend is in contention for MVP, but
yes, she is.
What about Trevor Lawrence? Is he there? Okay,
I
Sean,
really
you're
don't like you bringing up old shit.
You're out too, Sean. I don't think that anybody's going to pick the MVP. We have Mahomes and Allen, or the other two. So
Yeah.
it may be down to 5 points. We'll see how it goes. And honestly, I only have, Cincinnati's out on my AFC championship. Sean, you have the Jags out. You have New Orleans out.
Oof. I was really high on them this year, too. Terrible year.
Cameron, you're going to have to help me because I wrote SEN. Oh, no, Seattle was who you picked. That's SEA. So that one's
So
out
close.
too. And that was one of your Super Bowl teams, too. So that's out. This is going to be a fun playoff. I might actually have a chance in this.
well, who does Kenny have out? Does Kenny have everyone in still?
Kenny still has Bills, Chiefs, Eagles, Niners, with the Bills being the champion.
So
So
we
that
can
mid-island
probably
pick is going to come through real
Oh,
well.
we
for him.
both have the Bills winning the Super Bowl then.
Yeah, but you don't have anything else.
Yeah,
Well,
we
yeah,
can
that's
probably
what
go
that's
ahead
what
and
I'm
give this
saying.
to
So we
Kenny.
can just give it to Kenny.
Let's
Yeah.
just
don't need
give
to
this to
drag
Kenny,
this out.
and we'll start counting the playoffs. Got it.
Congrats, Kenny, on your championship.
Kenny, great job.
Well deserved.
Thank you.
All
Being
right,
well
guys.
under 500, still winning championship.
Hold on, to circle back around. I actually just had this thought since Sean thought Trevor Lawrence was going to be the MVP. If you are Shed Khan, do you fire Doug Peterson and try to hire Jim Harbaugh?
Mike Vrabel, yes.
No.
No, I don't think he
Yes.
hires Harbaugh.
I think if there's potential to do it, if he's willing to have the conversation, then I think you do it.
Is that much of a difference, though? I mean, I don't.
He's younger. He is. Harbaugh has worked wonders with quarterbacks.
I mean,
It's an
so has
interesting
Peterson. So let's not forget
Yeah.
what he did with Nick Foles. So
We could
Right.
get Sarah Jessica Parker back to his full potential.
Her, I think, or maybe it's they. I'm not sure.
No, it's because they
Zero.
both have a horse face.
Them.
I think if Harbaugh's camp is willing to have the conversation, I think you just do it and let the chips fall where they may. Why not? You have nothing to lose. You can go in and you could hire Vrabel and probably end up with the same record you would as having Peterson the next year if you don't get Harbaugh.
Just a thought.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting spot, too. I mean, all of those places that I don't think he goes to any of the openings right now. I would be shocked. Chargers would probably be the best fit of those, but I don't think he goes to San Diego. Honestly, I think that's where Belichick ends up.
Well, he's definitely not going to San Diego. I can tell you that. He would definitely go to LA.
Well, fuck, god damn it, every time, fucking Chargers. Can they just go back to San Diego or move here? Either way would be fantastic.
Where are we going to put them and the Pelicans, apparently?
And yeah, what are you doing with the Battlehawks?
Oh, yeah, that's true. I do like the Battlehawk. Cacaw is law.
This week, absolute genius move.
Great transition.
Genius move by the NFL script writers to make all of the Swifties pay for Peacock.
Yeah, I didn't think about that side of it. That's an incredible move.
Dude, and they're talking about it like it's history. They're like, for the first time ever, like, we should be happy that it's on Peacock. Like, no, get out of here.
For the first time ever, it's behind another paywall. Like, cool. Congrats.
Oh my god! So speaking of paywalls, because I know this makes everybody feel just so great. Apparently, Bally's is paying out only the Cardinals for their regional sports deal, right? For this year, and then it's done. And then next year, 2025, there are rumors that the Cardinals are looking into their own streaming service. So
They refuse to sign a pitcher younger than me. I am not purchasing streaming rights from the Cardinals.
That's what I was like. You got.
Are the Blues going to be included in that, or just the Cardinals?
I don't think so. I think it's just the Cardinals.
God.
Yeah, that's the rumor. Like, I don't think that it happens. I think the MLB has a lot more to say in this when it comes down. The MLB apparently turned down a $150 million package from Amazon, which I think is way low considering what MLB Network probably gets, or MLB TV. But I don't know how one team can go to their own streaming service. That's just not possible. There's no way.
The average age of the Cardinals pitching rotation qualifies for AARP. You're not getting more money out of me than what I'm already paying to watch you octogenarians throw a baseball off a baseball mound. It's not happening.
But that doesn't matter. Like, you guys have to realize how big of a market that the Cardinals truly cover. Like, there is legit seriousness to the fact that when there's a clear night in St. Louis, and really just anywhere, you can hear KMOX for fucking miles. Like, that is what helps. And they used to be one of the only shows in town.
No.
It makes a big difference.
We understand.
I know
that
what
for
you
the
guys are
longest
saying.
time, the Cardinals were the only team west of the Mississippi. There are a lot of fans from the Mississippi on. And I understand that. I respect them. I love them all as Cardinal fans. But this ownership group seems so uncommitted to winning. Why should I invest my time? I think that's what Sean's saying.
Correct.
I agree with that, but it doesn't matter because you still have millions of people that are going to pay for it.
I am not paying another streaming service. Sorry, Kenny. I'm just going to say real quick. I'm not paying for another streaming service to watch a team win 72 games.
I'm not paying for one team.
At best.
Yeah. No way. Like, I don't understand how they will let that go through. Like, MLB is going to have to say something about it because there's no way they can be like, oh, yeah, cool. We're going to let the Cardinals do it and then see what happens. Like, I'm not paying money to watch one team. That's the stupidest thing ever.
We all say this, but at least 2 out of 3 of us would probably end up paying for it, though.
Well, we'll take your password when you pay for it. So it doesn't matter.
It would have made me work if we would have signed Yamamoto or Shohei and got, all of Japan to go download the Cardinals streaming app. Unfortunately,
it would have been blacked out for some reason.
I have legit concerns that franchise can't do math because apparently Bill DeWitt came out and said that they were already increasing their payroll for 2024 versus 2023. Their current payroll sits at 164, and last year their payroll was 173. So I can do math real quick and say that 173 is more than the current 164, but apparently Bill DeWitt can't.
That's because they're trying to gaslight St. Louis Cardinal fans.
Oh, it's so bad. Well, it's because the BFIB.
You didn't factor in his bonuses.
Oh, that's true. He does get that, yeah. He also referred to the Cardinals, or to his organization, as the Cardinals being a piece of it. What a dumbass.
If you want to see us rant more about the Cardinals, maybe look on our socials. Hey, Cameron, where can people find us on those socials?
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter /X at PodRideThePine, on Instagram at pod_RideThePine, on TikTok at RTP-Kenny, and on YouTube, Ride the Pine Podcast. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, leave a review, whatever you want to do.
If you
appreciate
like
you.
what you're hearing, please subscribe. It's going to help the channel. It's going to help us grow. Yeah, we would really appreciate it. All right. Any final thoughts that's not St. Louis Cardinal baseball related before we get out of here?
I will be in the Blues alumni box on Saturday. If anyone sees me, don't say hi. I'll ignore you.
And that is how you grow a fan base. All right, guys. Have a good night.